Having looked at the exercise science, it's now time to piece it all together and begin our main phase. The main phase for some is the most exciting piece, and it is the piece where you get to really apply your understanding of exercise science, principles of training, and where you get to do what we all love the most, which is coaching our clients. The main phase is the longest piece of your class, and it is this part where you will do 90% of your teaching and coaching. But if you haven't laid a solid foundation and given good impressions during your pre-class and your warm-up phases, then you're about to spend 90% of your hands-on time with your clients playing catch-up. It will make no difference whatsoever how brilliant you are during your main phase if you haven't created a brilliant first impression in the earlier pieces. Before we go forward, let me take you back to our previous notes. You can see from our structure of all group fitness classes that our main phase sits right after our warm-up. The main phase can be any type of class. It can range from a circuit class, a HIIT class, a body conditioning class, a CrossFit class, a spin class, weights class, cardio class, football class, you name it, it can be any type of class. However, the main phase isn't just a list of exercises that someone throws together, and no matter what type of class you are teaching, you, as a group fitness professional, must follow the guidelines and the science of the following when designing your main phase. Physiological adaptations of the body to exercise, the components of fitness, principles of training, balancing muscle groups and the range of motion of joints, and understanding the progressive functional training continuum and how that applies to adaptations and progressions for each of your exercises. Let's take a second to jot down those into your notes so that you have a clear understanding of the content associated with our main phase. Okay, let's start putting the pieces of the jigsaw together when it comes to designing main phases. Components of fitness, which you're familiar with now, play a crucial role in designing your main phase. However, the principles of training are not something that directly impact the design of your main phase. They are something you need to be aware of. They're more part of the business and retention strategy and something you need to be definitely aware of, but they do not impact the design of your main phase directly. Our next piece of the jigsaw when it comes to designing our classes is our understanding of muscles, joints and overall movement, and how we must select exercises for our classes which balance out the impact and workload on a particular group of muscles and the load on a particular joint. You can't teach group fitness without knowing and having an amazing understanding of how your body moves, the muscles and the range of motion at each joint. You can't teach group fitness without understanding movement. With an understanding of movement, you can plan your classes and select exercises which don't overcook and overwork one muscle group. Many group fitness instructors will design their exercise sequence by dividing the body into upper body, lower body and core. There's no set rules, just guidelines and your understanding of movement, impact and load. With your understanding of movement, impact and load, this will determine what sequence you go with. In my own personal experience, I will often do 2 leg exercises followed by 1 upper body and 1 core exercise. The legs can usually take more load than the upper body. If you're unsure of load and impact, your best policy is to err on the side of caution and break the exercise sequence up so that you are ensuring balance. We have one more factor to consider before we start designing our main phases, and that is the physiological adaptations of the body when we are exercising. What we are concerned with here is what happens to the body when we do a particular exercise on the heart rate, on the muscles, and finally on a person's mindset. There is a very fine line between working your group hard and crossing the line of this is too much. You must learn balance and not just plan your classes on paper, but plan them according to the impact and the effect that these exercises and this exercise sequence has on the body and the mindset of your clients. Quite an overwhelming amount of content there, but once you can understand the science, which is the components of fitness, be aware of the principles of fitness and how they apply to your business and your group fitness setting. And then if we understand balance in terms of the muscle groups, the impact an exercise or exercise sequence has on a heart rate, fatigue, and the overall mindset of our group. Now we can plan fitness classes.